The big story that we're tracking this morning is on Brexit, as what happens if Britain leaves the European Union without a deal. A new report published by the UK government highlights just how bad things could get if no-deal Brexit becomes a reality. The report, called Operation Yellowhammer, lays out the worst-case scenario if Britain leaves without a deal, and the outcomes are not favourable. There could be waiting periods of up to 2.5 days at border crossings. Essential medicines could become scarce, and fresh food supply could also be hindered. The report basically paints a dull picture for cross-border transport and trade. As predicted by several experts, the financial system of Britain could take a hit, and fuel shortages are also a possibility. Now, the report concludes that the people of Britain are simply not ready for a no-deal Brexit, and that the negative effects of an abrupt Brexit could in fact linger on for weeks and maybe even months. Opposition leader Jeremy Corbyn squarely blamed Boris Johnson for the damning report and said that the Prime Minister was prepared to punish the common people who could not afford a no-deal Brexit. The report was published after the UK Parliament voted to force the government into releasing it. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has been adamant on leaving the EU with or without a deal on October 31st. He had even asked the country to brace itself for a no-deal Brexit. Now, one of the sticking points in the deal has been the clause of a backstop in Northern Ireland. Johnson reiterated that he would like to see the clause removed, since the Parliament is in favour of the move.
Well, Lavi, the backstop is going to be removed, I very much hope. And that is, I insist, because that's the only way to get a deal. The UK Parliament will not accept the current withdrawal agreement. There's no way that is going through. But the crucial thing to understand is that we will not accept, and I've seen a bit of chatter about this, a bit of stuff in the media about this, we will not accept either a Northern Ireland only backstop. That simply doesn't work for the UK.
Now, from UK politics, let's shift our attention over to Canada, where Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who's being admired abroad for his progressive policies, his reputation, however, is damaged by scandals at home. Trudeau has now kicked off a 6-week re-election campaign, but opinion polls are suggesting that his hold on power will be weakened. Remember Trudeau, who swept to office in November 2015, stressing on the importance of gender equality, gay rights and the environment, now faces an electorate more focused on the economy and affordability when it votes on 21st of October this year.
Canadians from all across this great country sent a clear message tonight. It's time for a change in this country, my friends, a real change.
Honourable Prime Minister.
But Trudeau may not win enough seats to govern by himself after a series of missteps that called into question his leadership while cutting into his once sky-high popularity. A recent research poll shows that Liberals are 34.6% and the main opposition Conservatives are 30.7%. This margin would not be enough to guarantee a majority of seats for Trudeau.
Mr. Speaker, for 2 months, the Prime Minister has been avoiding accountability and his involvement in the SNC-Lavalin corruption scandal, which has been engulfing his government now for months.
Trudeau's challenge is that he's running on his record rather than the uplifting message of hope and change that helped the Liberals attract record numbers of Green, Youth and Aboriginal voters in 2015. The Liberals, however, cite near-record low jobless numbers, booming growth and lower levels of poverty as grounds for re-election.